Welcome and hello, hello and welcome, welcome and hello, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me on an extremely special edition, a timely, a prescient edition of Un Poco Mas, the show where a confused, chunky monkey sputters out meaningless blather about stocks and life and love and just many things, whatever topics are on the table. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello, hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me. Happy hump day. Of course, it's Wednesday. And you know what that means. It's time for an absolutely thrilling, exciting video about SOFI Technologies Incorporated. Of course, ticker symbol, as we all know, is SOFI. Of course, guys, it's Un Poco Mas. I would be remiss if I did not say welcome and hello, hello and welcome, welcome and hello, hello and welcome, welcome and hello, hello and welcome. And just, imagine, if you will, just to work with me because I'm kind of tired. Imagine if I said welcome and hello about a dozen more times just to give you some semblance of a proper greeting. My grandpappy always said, measure of a man is his greeting, a long, extended, meaningless, annoying greeting. And he used to beat me with a switch too, so I don't know if grandpappy was all there. I don't even know if he was my grandpappy. He's some crazy old man hang around our porch, beat us when we talk back. It's telling. I don't think he spoke English. I don't even think we knew the guy. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, this is a pointless ramble. Again, you can tell I'm tired. This like nerve pain issue. I can't sleep. It's a whole situation. Anyway, so SoFi today, I won't call it a crash. I won't call it a sell-off. I'll call it a mechanic orchestrated algorithmic walk down. Like think about synchronized swimming or that skating where they're in pairs. But think about something just that carefully choreographed where this is basically whenever you see it wasn't really a downgrade, it was an ungrade, it was an upgrade from Morgan Fudley. That guy with no neck, Midwest values, who looks like a state champion wrestler, been hit over the head a bunch of times, kicked in the face by a mule. No, he's a good guy, Adelson, whatever. But yeah, so he moved from 13 to 18. The only other guy that I fear more is, KBW after that New Year's massacre with that little, short, fat, wannabe mafioso, spitting image of a young Danny DeVito. But he's moved on to greener pastures, and now we have that dude who used to be the backup lead singer for My Chemical Romance, little Timmy Switzer. He takes out his lip ring when he's doing hard-hitting stock analysis. But these two clowns, it's the new Chia Pet and Five Head for 2025. Why is it selling off? People are saying, okay, new applied for a banking license. They're getting caught up in Upstart's bad data. There's, bad loan data coming out. Everybody's afraid. I don't think it's any of that. I think in some institutions are bearish. They're happy, taking profits here. They might be happy to reshort a little bit here, but it's the same situation with NEO in that there's far less shares on loan than there are shares sold short. Also, just not for nothing, I always talk about institutional ownership. Institutional ownership in SoFi is at all-time highs and, consistently on an uptrend. And you see that over here as well. Like the top shareholder, that's a big one. Jane Street just bought in for 65 million shares, 5.5% of the company. But Vanguard and BlackRock are the top two we like to see. And besides Jane, there they are. And they're both increasing. You see all these shareholders. These are all the top shareholders. The green indicates that at the last filing, they increased their share count. Red, the only company that decreased their share count was D.E. Shaw and Company Limited Partnership. I think it stands for limited intelligence if you're selling SoFi. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? Learned that little expression down at a bowling alley. You know what I mean? No better place to learn a little 3-card money scam. You guys want to run that 3-card money scam at them? I don't think they got any money, Skeeter. Yeah, they look broke as hell. Then again, so do we. But anyway, follow the institutional ownership. They're not setting up to attack the stock. That at least I'm not seeing it. If you look at the short interest, live short interest, they shorted 32,000 shares, so it was basically neutral today. Borrowing was basically neutral. It's just a lot of dumping, a lot of dumping, a lot of essentially just algorithmic price fixing. I mean, for lack of a better term, and you can see it in the chart. I mean, does this look like some natural, retail just selling shares? I mean, sure, swing traders are taking profits. Sure, I don't see why you would want to sell this given the multiples, given the growth. I mean, I was looking at top line growth rates year on year. SoFi is growing like 40%. I mean, they're really, if you kind of look at the data writ large, they're really growing faster, even faster than Robinhood, but just depends kind of where you measure from. But Robinhood is absolutely crushing it, no doubt about that. But a lot of these people are comparing their growth rates to other fintechs that they just can't hold a candle to SoFi. They're not fit to hold Anthony Noto's jockstrap, if you know what I'm talking about. Papa Noto, as we call him in our house, but unacknowledged. Anyway, dumping by institutions. Who else? This worked perfectly for me. Sold some covered calls, 26. I can silently buy them back now and buy more shares tomorrow if dips below 25. There you go. That's a smart play. Yeah, there's definitely some insider selling, Anthony, if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, if you look at I took a look at this actually. I forgot to put it up. But insider sentiment has been on the negative side. Insider momentum, you have 27 million in sales and 0 buys on the open market. Last 3 months, last 6 months, same story. Last 12 months, same story. Sold $500 million, bought nothing. I don't know if this isn't always 100% accurate, but you get the gist. You get the short interest for dummies, insider ownership for dummies, everything for dummies, even fat dummies. If you're participating in the Tebedaki method, if you're over 20 stone, pat yourself on the back, but you can't reach your back because you're too fat to pat yourself. Perhaps your name is Pat, and you're home free. Anyway, what's going on, Lisa? Clap my dog, great Anthony Walker. Yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised if some institutions are selling up here. I mean, it's definitely gone up a lot. Yeah, SMCI, David, absolutely killing it. They're riding back the AI wave. I think people, now that they're shipping Blackwell full force, the numbers, the margins, everything's going to go back up, just like it did at the start of the last product cycle. That's when you saw the hyper growth in all their numbers, everything. So SMCI is in incredibly good shape. All we need to do is hire a CFO who's going to crack some heads and get everything in order. That's all they need. The product's there. The growth is there. They're perfectly positioned, right place, right time. Uncle Chucky's a genius. Aunt Sarah can pick a horse and drink a whole bottle of wine like nobody's business. They cut down endangered trees and, plant vineyards and just get plastered 3 sheets to the wind and, kibitz with the CFO about ways they can scam. No, not really. Not really. And don't worry too much about SMCI. Institutions are perfectly willing to give them big money. If their business was really in trouble, they wouldn't be able to raise money at favorable terms as they have. And I know there was a kicker on the first money raise and all that. That guy invests with the best, he's done that to death. This convertible note is the worst thing I've ever seen. These bastards. He's like, this dude's out for blood. And he's a smart guy. Like, I like the guy. But I don't know. He just really, really does not like the SMCI convertible note structures and the poison pills, the kickers. And they call it a kicker because you got to ice your nuts after you pay the kicker. Like icing the kicker right before a critical field goal. And Har House Pooh House, the former rugby player, steps up from 67, looking at a game winner. The Philadelphia fans are angry. Like, that's got to be the toughest job. You just the place kicker trying to win the game with no time left from like 60, just kicking it as hard as you can. You ever been on a football field and looked from like 60 yards, 65 yards, league records, how small those goalposts look? And I was looking at like high school goalposts, which are, college something, which is even wider than the NFL goalposts. And, I don't know why I'm talking about this. What do you guys think is the highest like pressure in team sports? I know you could say like, okay, full count, bases loaded, bottom of the ninth, tie game. What is it? I like that game-ending field goal. Of course, you got the play in basketball. You're inbounding, or maybe you're shooting a free throw with like no time left for the game. Maybe it's a technical foul. Maybe Bill Laimbeer and I don't know, somebody got into it. Bill Laimbeer, for her lack of physicality, that guy got a lot done. Couldn't even he looked like he was an accountant or somebody. Are you my attorney? No, I'm an NBA professional. Well, you are very tall. It's not just because he's a white guy. It's not what I'm doing. I'm not doing a racist. He just had that look, the hair, like the guy in the office. Hey, how's the weekend, Hal? Oh, good weekend. Good weekend. Played a little golf, cut the grass. Yeah, I know, Hal. Same shit you say every time. He really went home and drank a bottle of plain rap vodka. Played Call of Duty. Dry jerk with your own tears. Am I right, Hal? He's like, oh, batting 1,000, champ. Good to see you. Good weekend. Of office talk were actually true. People lie so much. Like they come in, they're just like, oh, how was your weekend? Oh, it was great. PTA meetings, summer camp, blah, blah. It's just at home. It's just chaos. Just trying to roll over credit cards, one cash advance into the next. Try to get that 0% interest for 6 months. Just buy yourself a little more time. Absolute desperation. From your job at one Subway to your job at another Subway. Back to a job at Starbucks. It's the trifecta. Working right now at 2 Subways and a Starbucks. Making about $3 a week in tips. Subway is not a great thing for tips. Plus, all the credit card thing, they don't have those things juiced up right. Like they'd make you feel guilty at other places. Oh, and it's just going to ask you a little question now. I like how the people try to like speak for the little, point of sale reader that they're going to ask you for like an exorbitant tip. On like takeout orders now, it's like 20%, 25%, 35%. Like, dude, it's a takeout order. I mean, I'll slip you a $5, if it's something special, like package, I'll slip you $10. What am I going to tip 25% on a takeout order? What am I going to tip the captain? Double tip, additional tip? It gives you, and they've raised that, parties of 6 or more. It used to be like, they do like an 18% gratuity, and then it was 20%. Now I'm starting to see a 22% mandatory gratuity, which is fine. I usually tip 25% anyway. Plus, I'll often tip 35, 40%. I've worked my ass off in restaurants. It's hard. I always try to tip well, particularly if I get good service, but I just feel like some of the stuff's like abusive at this point. It's just going to ask you a question. Can't even ask me for the tip and put those clever little signs. Anyway, I don't really know what this video is about. You guys want to look at a chart? You guys want to do something really fun? Let's look at this chart. All right, I lied. It's not going to be fun at all. It's going to be tedious and painful. Anyway, so we see, you notice how this run up is fairly disorganized. I mean, there are points where it hugs the line, but it breaks down, it goes above, it tests. The only thing it really doesn't do is break out to the top side. It kind of does that here, but it meets a brick wall, obviously, at 30. But the walk down is very steep and it's very, very orderly. It kind of tried to catch a little support here at 27.50. But I feel like this bad Oscar's working in $2.50 increments. I feel like it's working over my my nether regions like a professional super phantom weighted boxer working over a speed bag, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like all-terrain vehicles. You know what I mean? That one sounded more like a duck. But anyway, so you saw the little shoulder here at 27.50. You saw it trying to make some kind of market. You see support on this side and on this side. Obviously breaks down with this hammer candle. Baggy heel has only one pencil left. guys remember that episode of King of the Hill where Peggy goes down to Dallas and takes on Boggle champion Sissy Cobb? One of my favorites. The word ain't Sissy Cobb. It's acquaintanceship, as in it was not my pleasure to make your acquaintanceship. Oh. Her husband has to come in and console her. Get that Russian commentator. Oh, it's great. I miss King of the Hill. Let Brittany Murphy have to die. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I wish the show went on. I'm very talented. I just love that show. Anyway, it's not really important right now. John Redcorn, whole Dale Gribble Bluegrass Experience. Con. Iron Systems. Chinese or Japanese? Highly Ocean, damn it. Oh, it's just brilliant. Brilliant writing, brilliant comedy. I used to work in the same restaurant the guy who created that show. Not at the same time, but Mike Judge. Anyway, what were we talking about? Okay, so they're working this thing down in $2.50 increments. This looks pretty good right here. If you look at this line, this is about 250. Look at these big red candles, guys. See what happens here? Out of the 5 red candles, see how you kind of have 2 below, 2 above this pivot at 25.50. Look how this bounces off perfectly here, 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 here. So this line, I think, will hold support if the overall market uptrend continues throughout the rest of the week. Now, Friday is going to be ugly. They're going to smash options on OPEX. We know that. If it breaks down past this level, the next thing I am looking at is going to be 2250. You see it right here. It's kind of another pivot. It was working below the line here, working above the line here. So that pivot was basically right there. If you want to draw your little hash mark, want to draw like an ampersand or a, you know, some type of a doodle. But anyway, so if we can't hold 2550, I personally think this breakdown is going to end. I mean, from where we were, just like hit, I think 30.25. I mean, this is almost 20% retracement, or was it like 16, 17%? So there's really a lot of buying pressure on the stock, a lot of eyes on the stock. I saw a good video yesterday kind of about, you know, manipulation and what happens, and everybody's bullish the SOFI stock. Everybody's buying. It's pushing up past 30. It's looking really good. Breaks through 30 and then of course is rejected, you know, 2 different days. And then it looks like it's going to hold here. It keeps wanting to come back up and, you know, challenging this $28 area. And then they just absolutely slam the door. And I think they're pushing swing traders out. They're pushing, because I think market makers know ultimately this goes much, much higher and turns into a huge company. All the fears, all the bears. I mean, I was reading a bearish article, and this is a, you know, well-reasoned article. I have no problem. Bears of Wall Street. His name is Bears of Wall Street. So it's time to sell before the crisis hits. It's a made-up crisis. It's talking about how the multiples are too high at 9x sales. I think the multiples are too low at 9x sales because they're growing the top line at 40%. They're about to have an absolute explosion in terms of EPS growth, in my opinion. If you understand how to do math, then you're able to follow the EBITDA through and are able to see what's going on with the books. EPS is going to go up really fast over the next couple of years at SoFi. And also, I mean, they have crypto coming in, they have options coming in. None of that stuff is priced in. They don't talk about the fact that they can add back in everything these other fintechs have, but these other fintechs cannot necessarily, you know, add what SoFi is. You can't go back and sort of, you know, change the nature and, you know, mission statement of your company. SoFi is consumer focused, saver focused, long-term focused. This is what you want as a long-term investor, in my opinion. I don't think they're being paid for the growth at all. And I think that the multiples, Upshart, Robinhood, all these other companies that, you know, I honestly don't think companies like Affirm and Upstart are even going to be in business in a few years. I think a lot of companies can do what they do. Like, well, they have agreements with all these companies. So those are fleeting. That's not durable competitive advantage. That's a little tiny weighing edge. It's a little bit of the old twig and berries, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Mum's the word. But major risks are on this comes back to the same thing. Valuation concerns, defaults. I was listening to Luke, the stealth wealth guy, and he was talking about taking profits and how it's really a fool's errand because all you're really doing is trading and timing the market. And he's right. Like SoFi, a lot of times I do take profits, I do trade because the market, these huge moves just kind of force me into it. But I'm not going to do that with SoFi. I bought more SoFi today. My average is like down at 6. I mean, I hate to buy, but I have to buy because I think ultimately this is $100+ stock in the not too distant future. I think this is a top 10 financial institution. I don't believe that any of the other fintechs are going to get there. And I'm not afraid of Nubank. Not afraid of anything. Got my papa. Papa's got my back. Noto's got my 6. Anyway, so I don't think, 25, 26, 27, 28, you just can't time when something's going to take off. You can't time a huge announcement. I don't see how these other fintechs outcompete SoFi. And I go back to the point. SoFi is fundamentally misunderstood and has been from the jump what they're building here. This whole thing they're building, this flywheel, the loans, everything. It was designed to capture an extremely high quality membership base. That's what it was designed to do. That membership base they're capturing, the reason they want it to be so high quality is the lifetime value of that member. They want it to be worth their while to acquire that customer and then basically bleed that customer dry for the rest of their life. No, not really. They're giving them a good deal. That's why they want to stay. They're giving them all the products they want. That's why they're going to stay. They're adding products all the time. That's why they're going to stay. Just a couple years ago, no one gave SoFi any credit for all this fee-based revenue. That's what I was saying. I think the product is the membership. Don't you get it? The key, the secret sauce, the USP is this membership they're building. Anybody can sell you insurance. But if you have the top 5% of profitable, consumers right there to sell, you've taken 99% of the work out of it. 99% of the work is acquiring that great customer that can afford it, wants a product. SoFi knows all that with AI. That's what the relay product and stuff is all about. They know you better than you know yourself. And they're going to use that inside knowledge, that AI, that special sauce, that secret sauce, that Chick-fil-A, that chick flick, that special man boob sweat. Oh, that's good man boob sweat. I'm wearing a crop top. You guys can't see. I always wear belly shirts. Keeps the meter maid away. Sir, your meter's up. Never mind. Bye-bye. Have a good day. What is it, my crop top? It's off-putting for you? Are you body shaming me? I'm not body shaming you. I'm just over here vomiting in my mouth a little, sir. I'll be right with you to issue you a ticket. He's gone. Where do you see a 300-pound guy in a crop top? Little belly shirt, little bebe shirt. Not this guy, I'll tell you. I barely want to take my shirt off for the doctor when you already know my weight. That's more intimate information. Now you're probably going to want to see my wiener. I'm sorry. And why are you lubricating your fingers, sir? Those hands, you look like you used to be a lumberjack. Oh no, power lifter? Excellent. Very thick hands. Very good. Didn't used to be a soprano. With the gabagoo. Guys don't even want to get me going on my Gandalf impression. I do Tony Soprano just incessantly to the point it just drives you into madness. Just questioning everything. Constantly demanding gabagoo. How just incredulous that you can't see who it is. Don't you see? It's pussy. It's big pussy. Don't you see? Like, no, he doesn't see. He's dumb. Tell him to go murder somebody. You pay him less than minimum wage. Just give him free tracksuits, ammunition, scrunchies. Oh, Furio Junta. Furio's a great character. There's someone in the bot. Extremely violent, but charming. Fell in love with Carmela. But who didn't? I think we all did. Especially Nurse Jackie. Oh, anyway, wasn't really sure what the point of this show was going to be. Obviously, it has no point. People just keep asking me, should I buy? How far is it going to pull back? I think honestly, 2250 is probably the worst case we're looking at. I mean, for me, that would be, well over 20% pullback on a stock that is just firing on all cylinders. This company is absolutely crushing it. I know it's not necessarily as exciting as the ups and downs of some of these other companies, but do you want ups and downs, or do you want rock solid, growth and profits in all markets? And basically they can sell this membership anything, and it's not only selling products to their membership, it's selling their membership to other companies through these platforms. Loans are not the end of it. It'll be insurance, it'll be healthcare, it'll be auto insurance. I mean, all these things, it's like, every single thing you buy that has a profit margin and lends itself well to their platform, it's just, if you start to really think about it, there is no limit to the product SoFi can offer, because they've built this, they've cultivated this incredible mass like Mac. They've cultivated this incredibly high quality membership base that differentiates them from anybody else. Like, oh, they could have just, put their foot on the gas and made more bad loans. See, now when the economy starts to look questionable, unemployment's ticking up, interest rates remain higher for longer than people anticipated, even Noto and others. This is where you're glad you showed such restraint and had such discipline. And this is why I have so much respect for SoFi's management. And it's why I'm so comfortable saying, out of any stock for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, for the next 20 years, you give me Anthony Noto and SoFi Technologies Incorporated. Period. End of story. And I'll tell you another thing. I'm raising my price target on SoFi to $41. Think, are you crazy? Are you fat? Are you stupid? Are you aging poorly? Are your crow's feet overtaking your entire face? Are you always squinting? What's your problem? All valid questions. I'd like answers myself, but I don't have any. Why is this my stock of the decade? Why has this been my stock of the decade? It's not just a question of, I think a lot of the other fintechs that I could say, could be a fan of. I never felt, this type of kindred spirits with any other fintech, any other management team. I look at the resumes. I'm glad Anthony Noto is a quote unquote hired gun, a field manager, a game manager, a Tony Garcia. What was that? I mean, Jeff Garcia, sorry. Who do they call a game manager? What an insult. I'm an NFL quarterback. Oh, he's just more of a game manager. You say that about Steve Young. The guy's an artist. I mean, he's left-handed. BYU product, I believe. I hate quarterbacks that are like really good looking. Like a male model. And what does this guy's wife looks like? Oh, yeah. Gorgeous, bubbly blonde. Thrice divorced. I wonder how many of those like 80s cool, like isotoner glove quarterback. Everybody said Marino was such a dick. I don't know if it's true. I hate Montana. I hate the Niners. I just hate the Niners. I hate Young. I only like Rice when he came to the Raiders. Hate Roger Craig high stepping, just right all over our faces. It's two Bay Area teams. I mean, Raiders. When I was young, the Raiders were in LA and moved back to Oakland, but The Niners were just dominant there. A Bill Walsh offense basically birthed the entire NFL offense for the last, 30 years or whatever. Eddie DeBartolo. I think they were all mobbed up, all those Niner guys. Where are they getting that money? And the sister came in and took over. The guy ended up going to prison. I don't know exactly what happened. Some type of shenanigans. Anyway. Yeah, Eric, I think they're definitely trying to keep as much incentive as they can to keep customers, retain customers. That's a big thing because sometimes they look just at the website and they look for that number. And honestly, it doesn't cost them very much to hold the rate, a tenth of a point or a quarter of a point. It's not going to be a tremendous amount of funds. It's not going to be a tremendous amount of difference. But yeah, they do need to make those adjustments because, we don't want a leaky ship. We got to save it for stock-based compensation, right? Got to pay the great stock mo. I think you're really going to like what he has for you. Got something in his front pocket for you. Don't you reach in, see what it is. It's not warm gummy bears, I can tell you that. Rooney? Edward Rooney. Guy turned out to be super questionable in real life. It's unfortunate. Allegedly. She's talking about SoFi's diversified. SoFi need to deliver sustained revenue growth, 25%. Well, Copilot told me they're expecting 35 to 40% CAGR over the next 5 years, driven by growth in the lending platform. And what people are not talking about, there will be growth in technology. They did not lose all those RFPs. They just take a long time. It's like glacial time. It's absolutely biblical time. It's forever. It's like archaeology time. When are you going to sign that contract, LaPointe? Oh, somewhere between the Mesozoic and Paleolithic eras. Just wait like 7 billion years. We should have that revenue coming in. Don't worry. Oh, thanks, CLP. Appreciate you, bro. No problem. CLP is a big clicker. He's in like 6 bowling leagues. Know what I mean? Drinks exclusively Ham's beer. Big fly fisherman. Only has 1 testicle. When any other fun facts about Crystal Point. And then they gloss it, and then they're back to these credit concerns. They're back to, and granted, if the whole economy falls apart, we get into a depression. SoFi's customers will default, but they'll default at lower rates than less qualified borrowers. So everything affects everybody, but everything affects everybody less when they plan more better. Don't you get it? All the foundational work, all the planning, all the superior lending criteria, all the discipline, it doesn't just disappear because the economy gets, but you're still going to do better relative to your competition. Don't you see that? Like people are, well, the fact that they did everything right doesn't matter because we could go into a recession. So, just tickle my nuts with a feather duster. Why? Rather use one of those disposable Swiffers. Oh, I don't contaminate my good feather duster with your nut lice. Know what I mean? That's strictly for ceiling fans, not testes. Sandpacking, well, it's snowballing indeed. Go Birds. Got a big Eagles fan here. Sean Markey Contracting over at SRM. He's a battery chucker. Let's see. I hate to get Munson out in the middle of nowhere. What'd you say? Munson, be up a creek without a paddle. Never heard that word. It's like based upon him. Let's see. Multiple will expand when tech platforms start. I think the loan platform is the tech platform. Everything's being built by Galileo. Galileo's integral to everything. I think people, are hoping for this fairy tale ending where Galileo stands on its own and rises to save SoFi. If you have, guys, 2 out of 3 business segments crushing it, growing at incredibly rapid rates, you're making money. You don't have to be right all the time. You have to be right enough with your overall business model that the thing works and you grow and you scale. You're not going to be right with if Galileo is not an absolute home run, if it's just a double or if it's just the backbone of SoFi and the company's still incredibly successful, that's not a knock. Like I said, there's an order of operations, and if you deviate from the order of operations, you're not going to get the right answer at the end. That's how math works. That's how building a company works. That's how a business model works. Noto has been right from the beginning. He's been conservative. He's been building his house out of bricks. He's built the best foundation, and it took a few years to build that foundation. But people who plan to be invested for decades are going to appreciate that attention to detail. SRM contracting, Sean can tell you. If you start your job shit plans, shit planning, bad foundation, bad materials, doesn't matter how good your workers are, doesn't matter how good your management is, it doesn't matter how good your interior designer is. If the foundational work is flawed, faulty, shoddy, not up to snuff, the end result will be even worse because it stacks, it multiplies. That's why Noto did everything right at the beginning. And it was hard. It was painful. It wasn't sexy. It didn't cook the books. It was like, oh, your book value. Got your book value right here in my front pocket. You know what I mean? These nuts. Book value, these nuts. What's Robinhood's book value? We don't talk about that. Because it's not a bank. They wish they were a bank at this point. Lower their cost of capital by 1.5, 2 points. Make their business look completely different. I think SoFi can recreate a lot of what attracts people to Robinhood. I'm not sure Robinhood can pick up that SoFi vibe. I don't know that they want it. I mean, they're obviously doing quite well on their own merits. Perhaps they'd rest on their laurels, but it was leg day, so their laurels are a little bit sore. Too many weighted lunges. Anyway, I don't know, guys. Not a lurker here. Hello, Sanverti. How are you? I didn't see options on my app. I was on SoFi earlier. I didn't do any major trading or anything today. But I'm just kind of, I don't know. Market's kind of scaring me right now. This volatility. I feel like we're seeing a top. And October is usually bad, but just the rush of money from retail has just been absolutely silly. Sorry, guys. A bunch of stuff going on. Oh, looks like it is. I'll have to take a look, Chris. I will definitely take a look at that ASAP because I love options, and I used to have a ton of shares, sitting at SoFi, a lot of SoFi shares, a lot of other shares, and I got to a point where, they were kind of like my reserve shares. I wasn't selling it. I wanted to start selling options, and I wanted to start selling calls on those shares. So it was just took too long, but I'll definitely, once they get everything up to speed and I get used to it and I know how to use it properly, I'll definitely put a bunch more shares and such over there, get my account up to a respectable level. Cool. Sandver, I'm not a crypto expert or anything. The only thing I like about Bitcoin, I don't know, I'm not smart enough to understand all the use cases. I know people are saying, Ethereum could be waning, but they just revised everything, and XRP has these use cases, and people are saying Solana can have use cases. But what I like about Bitcoin is that sort of built-in scarcity, that there's an end and there's going to be no more, and you won't be able to mine it. You won't be able to create it. You won't be able to pull it out of the ground. You won't be able to, do a share offering. They're just a finite number. And I think once you hit that number, inevitably the price goes up. So out of all the crypto, I think probably for me, just stick with the tried and true big. Is it too high at these levels? 116,000. I don't have much Bitcoin. I bought just a little bit of a Bitcoin, a long time ago, and then that went up a lot, and I didn't trust it. So I obviously at this point wish I'd have bought a lot. I would be wealthy instead of fat. I might be fat anyway, but at least I would be wealthy, which makes fat being a lot more palatable. At least to women. But thank God, Princess Jay sees through my rotund exterior to my absolutely silly bone idiot interior. Really know what she sees. She needs new glasses, perhaps. The great Billy Jack has joined us. The mouth of the South. Jimmy Hart. No, it's Billy Jack, of course. Texarkana. I don't think that's really the South. Not the deep South. Kind of the peripheral South. They were drawn in. What's going on, Forever Forgiven? Yes, good to see you too. One of the Un Poco Mas OGs. Guys, I'm still going to get to that Un Poco Mas Hall of Fame. I want to bring this show back. I want to do a morning show. I want to do so many. It's just, man, I've had so much going on between just not being well and work and nerve damage and elder care and restless leg syndrome. I got one testicle different size than the other. It's always held me back. Been a bit of an issue for me, so kind of keeps me off balance. I'm always looping, kind of like a car misalignment, always pulling to the left. But if I'm just walking down, veer right into the buildings, right into a parking meter. Man walks into a bar, says, ouch. Worst jokes ever. Forever Forgiven. It's not going well. I haven't been able to like move. I've had this really bad pain on my right. I'm still down like a few pounds from where I started. I think like 7 pounds, but dude, my exercise has been crap. I haven't been able to use my arm. I've been able to use my leg. Barely been able to use my wing. No, it's kind of not been great, but I've got to recommit. Because like I said, I don't really want to die in the next week. And you don't see a lot of, really old fat guys. I'm saying you don't see any 300-pound guys in their 80s. None. You don't see hardly any 300-pound guys in their 70s. I mean, once in a while. But you see big women get old. I don't know why. Just they got the big, I don't know, it's hips versus gut or something. Like research said you got a big gut, you're going to die. But you don't even honestly see that many like 300 plus pound guys into their 60s. I mean, they're laboring. They're on those scooters going around like a Comic-Con situation on a Lark scooter. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, can you please help me pick up my action figure? I'm unable to dismount my scooter. I'm welded on here with feces.
Ugh. I want that to be my fate. To get it under control. Oh man, I've done every fat guy trick in the book. Just go through the drive-thru and try to order different toppings on my second burger. Oh yeah, no, my roommate doesn't like pickles, so give me that triple burger without pickles. Like, sir, I can see on the drive-thru camera that you're fat. Both these burgers are for you, so let's dispense with this ruse and get on with your order, you fat fuck. Okay. That sounds good. Oh man, what other fat guy tricks? What other fat guy tricks have I used? I don't know. You just absolutely kid yourself sometimes. Like, you're just like, oh, they won't notice I'm 350 pounds if I just wear a black t-shirt. Might get confused and think I'm 180 pounds. Vertical stripes, like yeah, your problem is the stripes, not the 150 extra pounds you're carrying around. Oh man, people, it doesn't matter whether you're fat or you're like addicted, you're a gambling problem. You just, once you're caught up in your own thing, you can't see it. You just can't see it. It's just like you're totally like off base. You're not tricking anybody, fathead. You're only hurting yourself. Like guy at the drive-thru making minimum wage, trying to avoid, throwing himself into oncoming traffic, is not concerned about your weight management issues. Just wants to get his fucking drive-thru line moving. No mustard. That's for my friend Rudy. No, that 20-piece nuggets for my girlfriend. Like, sir, you don't have a girlfriend. Okay, you're right. It's for me. Oh, you fucker. You cut me to the quick. You're very insightful. 16-year-old kid with acne. Very cutting. I'm just being honest, sir. Bad as shit. You shouldn't even be here. Sorry, this show's devolved into just my weight issues, psychological issues. But it's pretty much what my whole life is, so I don't know. All right, SoFi back up after hours, 7 cents. The hell did Neo do today? Absolutely nothing. Up 3 cents. And they really stepped on this one too. Really thought Neo was going to move up toward $8 today, to be honest with you, and purchase some calls to that effect. Probably lost half my premium. That's the danger of, because they're purchasing calls that expire in 3 days. Very stupid. Very stupid. I didn't buy that many, but I've been, like I said, on that SoFi account where I had those gains. It's because that's not my normal way of trading, guys. I was, like I said, I put the money in there at the beginning of the year and I was trading like a madman to see if I could grow it into $1 million by the end of the 1 year. I'm not going to be able to do that, but it's just kind of fun. Maybe I'll make it $500,000. We'll see. But it's just total fluke. Like I had calls lined up on like SMCI, CRISPR, and then the stocks just caught fire. Just call ladder, just kept rolling them up, and like I said, insane profits, and just kind of worked out that way. But my other accounts, they don't, I don't have 1,600% year-to-date profits, but I'm anywhere like 20%, 30%. Some of my accounts I'm up even more, 40%. Some really good numbers this year, 50%. Not Roy numbers, but I'm not nearly as smart as Roy. So you're not either. You might think you are, but you're not. Yeah, SMCI was on fire today, Stephen. SMCI, let's see. Do I have it up here? What are we doing? SMCI. Yeah, up 9%, just down a skosh after hours. But yeah, hanging up, trying to fight for $52. Very good news. Stock was just back in that channel. 43, 40, 42. So this stock moves. I mean, this stock, if you play it right, it's a money press. I mean, it was just back down here at 30 in May, and it was just here in the 30s again, 39. This is, I don't know. This is just a couple weeks ago, guys. It's just a couple weeks ago. Stock was at 39. So this thing just makes crazy moves. It's moved up about 30% in a couple weeks. It's a SoFi-like move. Roy has a PhD in oh, good for him. Yeah, it's more important things than money, intellectual capacity. Believe me, he'll pay off that debt, and by the time the game is over, he'll be wealthy as hell. Because I heard he made so far year to date 60% gains throughout his portfolio. Guy making 60% gains throughout his portfolio year to date isn't going to be in debt for long. Going to be stacking cash sky high. Anyway, yeah, Neo has gone absolutely crazy forever. But I think it's going to move through 10 in short order. I think everything is lining up positively for Neo. It's all coming together, and I think you're going to hear about partner cars. You're going to hear about, the positive side of the relationship with CATL, something other than, Choco My Chicken. But time will tell, guys. Anyway, sincerely appreciate all you guys watching. The Great C Mark. Yeah, dogs are way more important than money. People are more important than money. Cheeseburgers more important than money. Of course, you need money to buy cheeseburgers. Anyway, guys, I got to run. I hope Neo is going to go up more through 10. I think SoFi is, personally, I think it's going to recover and go back again and challenge 30 and break through this time. The stock should be at all-time highs. SoFi is absolutely crushing it. It's not going to get the multiples of a Palantir, obviously, or a Hood even, and, but people are saying, 9x sales is too high. No, not for a stock growing 40% with these eventual margins, this type of business model. I don't think it's too high at all. I personally think SoFi is still a bit undervalued, and I think the stock will move up to 40 next year, personally. And I think it'll go back through 30 this year. I think it'll go back through 30 very, very soon, honestly. I think it'll go back through 30 before earnings. And they set the earnings date for Tuesday, the 28th of October, I believe. So only 4 weeks away. So that's an aggressive date. Often they're into the next month. I like the aggressive date. Get your windbreaker dry cleaned, Papa. What about my father's business, guys? It's un poco mas. Y'all heard?